freeze rays, nanobots and invisible tanks. All these may sound like they belong to a sci-fi movie or on a Bond villain's wish list. But these are all real technologies currently being worked on. To know more about these super weapons, watch this video till the end.
Number 10.
Invisible tanks. Generally speaking, tanks are not known for their slenderness. After all, it's impossible to sneak around when you are actually the size of an apartment. But as weird as it may sound, stealth tanks have become the recent obsession of militaries across the world. US and Russia already have tanks that can't be detected by infrared sensors or radar. Interestingly, Australian and UK armies are looking to get one step further. In 2016, the Australian military began working with the University of South Australia's Future Industries Institute to develop tanks with polycarbonate cells, the ones used for making solar panels. These cells have the ability to change color to match any background, allowing tanks to adapt their bodies to camouflage with the surrounding. They are basically like chameleons carrying a 6-meter gun on their backs. Since 2011, BAE Systems has also been working on a similar project for the military of United Kingdom. They plan to reflect the surroundings of a tank on its surface. It's basically the same technology that made James Bond's car invisible in Die Another Day, except that this one is real.
Number 9.
Nanobots. If there's any single thing that the US military has become increasingly reliant on over the last few years it's drones. After all, unloading troops into enemy areas poses a risk on their lives. Why take the chance when you can just send a robot to drop a few bombs, while you sit behind a computer, sipping coffee? It's true that the future of drones is big, but the drones themselves are going to get very much smaller. Countries like China, US and Mexico are already splurging billions into nanobots. Interestingly, tiny robots that are just about 0.001 centimeters each can be given complex commands. These tiny robots could be remotely controlled, and experts fear that a bunch of them could be used to put deadly diseases into the water supply of a city. For a more precise target, these bots could also be used to poison an important military or political leader. And we're not talking about the distant future either. North Korea's Kim Jong-un has already accused South Korea and the US guilty of trying to assassinate him using a nanobot. Maybe that's just North Korea being, well, North Korea, but researchers have estimated that nanotechnology has a 1 in 20 probability of destroying humanity by 2100.
Number 8.
Self-flying jets. Nanoscientists around the world may be trying to make drones smaller, but the Pentagon is trying to remove the human aspect of drones entirely. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, of US is working on a computer program that can be used to fly a jet on its own. And just like all DARPA projects, this system too has a ridiculously long name, shortened into a cool acronym: the Aircrew Aber in Cockpit Automation System, or the ALIAS. In 2016, the project already entered its third phase after its success in simulated flights. The advantages of having fully automatic aircrafts are huge. No pilot's life would be put in risk, and ALIAS's quick reaction time may make it even better at handling threats than humans. It is believed that once ALIAS gains control of America's Air Force, it may just wipe out the Army, giving way to a new robotic wing altogether. But let's hope we get some cool air shows before that happens.
Number 7.
Mahem. As we all know, the US military has a solid track record coming up with ridiculous names for its missions, planes and weapons. As an example, just look at the Operation Liberty Shield, or mother of all bombs, but beat this prototype for anti-tank rocket, which is literally nicknamed Mahem. It stands for Magneto-Hydrodynamic Explosive Munition. This missile is superheated into molten metal when it's fired, and takes the shape of a long thin sphere, allowing it to enter any hole in a tank. Blowing up a tank from the inside is much easier than shooting it, which is the reason why US has been working on this project since 2008. We think the only reason they haven't still completed it is because they're trying to come up with a suitably ridiculous name for it.
Number 6.
Satan 2. If Mahem isn't that badass for you, what about a nuke called Satan 2? Can you believe that this giant Russian missile is capable of flying at a speed of 7 kilometers a second? It's widely known that the US and Russia have been using nukes to push for the Third World War since 1950s, so what makes this missile stand out? Well, Satan 2 can carry a 10-ton nuclear warhead, which makes it the most powerful nuclear weapon ever built. Its explosion will completely engulf a blast radius of the size of Texas, which is 2,000 times more powerful than the atom bombs dropped at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. As of now, the project is unfinished, but the missile is expected to be ready by 2018.
Number 5.
Force field. In 2015, Boeing surprised everyone after it was known to be working on an energy-deflecting arc generator. As per the design, the device would be fixed on top of a truck, coupled with a blast detector. As soon as it detects an explosion, the arc generator would strike the area surrounding the truck with microwaves, lasers and electricity. This superheated layer of air around the truck forms a shield, deflecting or absorbing any energy directed at it. Though it won't be able to block a direct hit from a missile, the laser shield would be strong enough to protect a vehicle from a shockwave of an explosion. Presently, the level of energy required for such a shield to work is way expensive. But as the technology advances, these laser force fields could very well be seen in battlefields in near future, at which point we would literally be living in a Halo game.
Number 4.
Human torpedoes. It may sound like an inferior superhero, but the human torpedo could be the future of modern marine warfare. Although most powerful submarines have never achieved the speeds of 65 kilometers an hour, it hasn't stopped the Pentagon to work on a small, one-man, torpedo-sized submarine. It may reach up to 185 kilometers per hour. But how is such ridiculously amazing speed going to be possible? Well, by firing a small portion of the submarine's rocket engine outward and forward. This process creates a bubble around the sub, allowing it to travel at super high speeds. The human torpedoes would be an ideal choice for dropping Navy SEAL commandos behind enemy lines or quick combat missions.
Number 3.
Virtual reality torture. VR is amazing. It allows people to enjoy games and movies in a way which was never before possible. It can even be used for a more immersive porn experience, which, let's admit, is the reason you bought it in the first place. Virtual reality also has several positive applications. Mental health experts believe that VR could be used to treat several diseases. Well, there is also a much potentially darker, military application: torture. Pain exists in the brain, and experts believe that if someone is in a realistic enough situation for long duration, they can feel sensations in their virtual bodies. This makes virtual torture just as painful as if it were being done in real life. Only difference that it doesn't leave the physical marks on the body. VR technology also makes it possible for torturers to create systems designed specifically to terrify a particular target. Scared of spiders? At the press of a button, you could be thrown into a world of these 8-legged creatures.
Number 2.
Freeze ray. So far, we've seen tiny killer bots, tanks with invisibility shields and liquid missiles. If you still don't believe that the world's militaries are getting their weapons designed from Acme, researchers are currently working to build a real-life freeze ray. In 2015, researchers at the University of Washington used a laser to cool the water by about 20 degrees Celsius. The laser worked by changing the water's color, which caused the particles to lose their energy and become cooler because science. The ability to freeze something has potential military applications. It can break locks, damage enemy weapons, and maybe one day, even freezing an entire army.
Number 1.
X-37B. In 2017, the U.S. Air Force's unmanned space drone made headlines when it broke the record for spending longest time on the orbit of Earth. But currently everyone's clueless about what it's doing up there. U.S. has been extremely secretive about the spaceship's capabilities and its mission. Assuming they haven't splurged millions launching a jet into space only for fun, Experts have been working non-stop to decode the X-37B's purpose. Some believe that the drone is being used to spy on China and North Korea, while others claim that it is designed as a space weapon, targeting and destroying enemy satellites to break their communications. Some even claim that the drone is used to drop bombs on enemy territories, without being detected. Whether the X-37B is an orbital camera or a real-life starfighter, one thing seems to be clear: human nature of murdering one another won't remain earthbound forever.